You have ambition. You have dreams. You can picture the life you want very clearly. Maybe you want success. Maybe you want freedom. Maybe you want to become the kind of person who actually follows through and builds the life they imagine. But there is one problem that keeps showing up again and again. You keep delaying the things that matter. You already know what needs to be done. You know the task, the habit, the next move. Still, somehow, you don't begin. At first, it feels small. You tell yourself, I'll do it later. Then later becomes tonight. Tonight becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. And slowly, the delay starts becoming a pattern. That pattern creates guilt, because deep down, you know you are capable of more than this. You know you have more potential. You know you are not really weak. You're just stuck. But when the same delay repeats for days, weeks, and months, something dangerous starts to happen. You stop seeing it as a behavior. You start seeing it as your identity. You go from saying, I'm putting this off, to saying, I'm just lazy. And once that label settles in, it becomes much harder to break free. Then, a new year comes. You feel a fresh wave of motivation. You make promises. You set goals. You tell yourself this time will be different. For a few days, maybe even a few weeks, it looks like you finally have it together. Then, procrastination quietly returns. It slips back in little by little. A delayed task here, a skipped workout there, a postponed project, a missed opportunity. Before long, you are back in the same cycle. That is why so many people feel stuck. They keep trying to fix the surface problem. They remove apps, they block distractions, they buy planners, they install productivity tools. Those things can help for a while, but they do not fix the real issue. The real issue is not just distraction, it's inertia. In physics, inertia is the tendency of something to stay in its current state unless an outside force acts on it. If an object is resting, it wants to stay resting. If it is moving, it wants to keep moving. That same thing happens with human behavior. Starting is difficult because the mind resists the first push. Before action begins, everything feels heavier than it really is. The task looks large. The energy required feels high. So the brain chooses comfort instead. That is why you scroll. That is why you avoid. That is why you delay. Not because you are broken, but because the beginning feels too expensive. So the real solution is not to wait for motivation. It's not to depend on willpower alone. It's not to force yourself into huge action right away. The answer is to make the first step so small that resistance cannot fight it. If a job feels too big, shrink the entry point. Do not say, I must finish the whole thing today. Say, I only need to begin. If you need to write an essay, do not focus on the full 5,000 words. Write 50 words. If you need to clean your room, don't think about the entire mess. Pick up one item. If you need to start exercising, don't think about an hour-long workout. Just put on your shoes. If you need to study, don't think about the whole chapter. Read one page. That's how you lower the mental wall. Because the harder the beginning feels, the more likely you are to avoid it. But the easier the beginning feels, the more likely you are to start. And once you start, something powerful happens. Momentum begins. This is where the 2-minute rule becomes useful. Tell yourself you only need to do the task for 2 minutes. Not forever, not perfectly, not even well. Just 2 minutes. Open the book. Launch the document. Do one set. Wash one plate. Reply to one message. Work on it briefly and stop if you really want to. Most of the time, you won't want to stop, because once motion begins, continuing becomes much easier than starting. That is the hidden power of momentum. A stopped object is hard to move, but a moving object wants to keep moving. And your habits work the same way. The first push feels difficult. After that, the work gets lighter. So instead of trying to become perfectly disciplined overnight, focus on making the start easier. That's the real game. Not intensity, not perfection, not giant bursts of motivation. Just an easier first move. Because most people don't fail from lack of ambition. They fail because they make the beginning too big in their mind. So if you want to break procrastination, here's the formula. Lower the pressure. Reduce the first step. Use the 2-minute rule. Let momentum build. That approach can be used everywhere. In the gym, start with one set. With your business, start with one small task. With your studies, start with one page. With your side project, start with one sentence. With your life, start with one step. You don't need to conquer the whole staircase. You only need to take the first step. And that first step matters more than it seems. Because the moment you begin, you stop being someone who only thinks about change. you become someone who is actually moving, and movement changes everything.